Hello, everybody. Welcome back. In today's topic, we are going to be talking about how to handle and navigate your fitness journey when you're feeling overwhelmed. So, this is for you if you feel like you have just so many responsibilities right now. And as we always typically do as high performing women, there's our career, maybe our families or our relationships, our partner, wanting to plan a family one day, and also navigating all of our just personal responsibilities outside of work. And in addition to that, if we want to balance our health and manage certain habits, it can get very, very overwhelming, specifically because if you are like me, where you like to get things done, you like to do and try to take on as much as possible, we can kind of bite off a little bit more than we can chew, and it ends up kicking ourselves in the butt a little bit later. And if you go full force trying to do everything, eventually things are going to collapse. And so what we're going to talk about today is really how to navigate this, how to actually build these sustainable habits so you don't have these episodes of burnout where you're going really hard and then feeling like you actually can't stick to it after a few weeks. We're also going to talk about really a big mindset shift that has helped, tens and tens of hundreds of my clients, basically every single client that I've ever worked with, navigate a period of overwhelm, because naturally that is going to happen in our lives. And then we will end it off with a good action item. So why don't we first kick things off with really just looking at right now a reflection of what things in your life are bringing you energy and what things are draining you. So when we feel really overwhelmed, it's often because we're not actually getting the right structure in place. We don't have the right mindset, or we're spending our time on things that aren't really serving us and serving our goals, and the people-pleasing tendencies start to come out. So we're saying yes to a lot of things that aren't serving us or aren't aligning with our goals, and those things are taking away our energy. And then because of this, we then feel overwhelmed, but we sort of, and whether it's subconscious or conscious, take on this sort of victim mentality where we feel like life is happening to us rather we are controlling our lives. So the first thing I want you to do, if you're listening to this, take out a pen and paper or take out your iPhone and your notepad and actually go and write down what are all the things that bring me energy right now and what are all the things that are draining me. From this, you're likely going to find that the things that are draining your energy are the things that aren't aligning with your goals. So let me give you an example. If you are saying yes to going and helping a friend out often, or going and doing something after work for someone else when you had planned that you were going to do something else, or you were just saying yes to a last minute social event, this is going to impact your goals. Even though you might want to hang out with this friend or you might want to do this thing, we really need to get laser focused and clear on the goal at hand. And if you had planned to, for example, go to the gym, or you had planned to meal prep that day, or you had to get a little bit of extra work done so that you can make time the next day and feel really good about doing these things, and this thing wasn't planned, yes, there's an element to wanting to have balance and be spontaneous, but at the end of the day, you have to take full accountability for what your goal is, and everything's a choice. And if you are choosing to do this thing that doesn't align with your goal, of course, you are going to feel overwhelmed. So once you have this list of things that really are draining your energy, you need to go then and ask yourself, do I want to be doing this? Is this how I want to be living my life? And am I okay with making this choice and choosing this instead of prioritizing the goal at hand? Whether it's the gym, whether it's getting extra sleep, whether it's just giving yourself some non-social times that you can reset your social battery and feel rested going into the rest of the week. You have to ask yourself, is this a choice? And this is the choice that I want to make. If it is, then you're going to need to look at the expectations around your goal and the time it needs or is going to take you to get there, because you cannot do it all. You can't expect to do it all and have every goal reached in the time that you want to reach it if you're not clear and laser focused into that task at hand. So you might be thinking, like, and listening to this, like, well, Steph, how do I even know how to balance this stuff? What do I do? So one of the really powerful things and exercises that I get to do with my clients, and it really helps them navigate their time management as well as understanding where they're feeling a little bit off balance. There's actually two activities. The first thing that you can do is actually doing a time exercise, like a time audit of your week. So we have 168 hours in a week. If you go and break down how you're spending every single day in hours versus how you want to be spending it, there are a lot of things that are going to come about in this exercise. So, for example, let's say you sleep 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. Let's say it takes you an hour to travel to work and back. Let's say you work 8 or 9 hours a day. And I really encourage you to be very, very honest with yourself. Am I actually working 8 hours a day? Where am I spending my breaks? What am I doing in the in-between time? How much time am I actually scrolling on social media or doing things that really aren't serving me throughout the day? And if you go throughout the week, you're likely going to find that a lot of your time is being spent on things that are not serving you and serving the greater purpose that you're wanting to work towards, whether that's being more intentional with your life or, obviously if you're listening to this, you have a fitness goal, you want to feel confident and healthy, you want to build habits and be the best version of yourself. So is where you're spending your time right now actually aligning with that goal? So once you do this time audit and you have an idea of how you are spending your time, you then want to go write down, well, what do I actually want to be doing with the hours in my week? Of course, I understand there are things that are going to come up that we don't plan for. Your car breaks down. You have to go do X thing because it was a last minute appointment. Of course, those are things that are going to come up. And that's probably where you would plan for those free times. Just like you have savings in your bank account, you are going to bank hours for those things that come up. But actually going and creating this understanding of your schedule and time is going to help you get very clear in what is serving you and what is not serving you. The second exercise that I get my clients to do is actually looking at your non-negotiables. This is very, very crucial, especially if you're someone that's a high performer. You like to have everything done. You like to be in control. You like to do everything all at once, and you can get very impatient when you don't see the results. So why is this important? Well, because we try to take on so much, we try to do a lot of what we want to do, not what we need. And if we actually did every single thing that we wanted, we probably would burn out a little bit. And it's not to say that you can't do everything that you want, but in moderation in certain ways. So when you're looking at feeling overwhelmed, you want to go and look at, what am I doing right now with my life in the sense of, am I trying to do too much? So do I need to go to the gym 5 days a week? No, I don't need to go to the gym 5 days a week. Maybe if someone's goals might be different. I need to go lift weights 3 times a week to feel really good in my body. And I need to be outside for an hour a day to feel energized and feel good. That's what I need. Do I want to be outside for longer in a day? Do I want to go to the gym more? Yeah, sure, I would. But I also have other goals that I'm working towards in my business. I have social life, relationship goals, making sure that I'm seeing my family and spending time with them. So what do I really need? And so what you're going to do is you're going to actually break down each area of your life into buckets. So you can have a health bucket, a work bucket. Maybe if you're working and you want to build a business on the side, you're going to have like this side hustle bucket. You're going to have family and friends bucket. You can decide what your buckets are, but actually going and outlining, what do you need in each bucket to feel your best at your base minimum? This isn't to say that you can't do more than that, but in the times that you're feeling extremely overwhelmed with a lot going on, you need to go back to, am I doing the bare minimum of what needs to feel good? And the chances are you're probably not. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you're probably overflowing one bucket and not putting enough into the other bucket. So for example, you might be overflowing the friend and social bucket and saying yes to all of these things and not putting enough into your health bucket. So naturally, you're going to feel a bit burnt out. You're not going to feel your best because you're not prioritizing your energy or your sleep or putting fuel in your body that's going to make you feel good. So this is a framework. This is a guideline. This is not the end all be all, but it is going to help you understand in those moments of feeling overwhelmed where you're actually allocating your energy and what you can do differently and having that baseline to go off of. So now that we've actually talked about the first actionable, tangible things that you can do, the next thing I want to go over is your mindset and how you are approaching things in your life. So it's very important to remember that you are the driver of your life. Your life is not happening to you. You create your life. Your beliefs create your thoughts, which create your feelings, which create your actions, which create your reality. So if you believe that life is happening to you, that you don't have control in certain situations, what are you going to think? You're going to think, woe is me. This is happening. I don't have enough time. I'm not able to do this. Other people don't have this responsibility, but I do. Then that's going to create the way that you act and show up in your life, which is not finding the solution for things. And then that's just going to create what your reality is. And you're always going to feel overwhelmed. So everything is in your control. That not everything. I don't like the way I worded that. I'm going to retract that. Not everything is in your control, but if you want a certain result, it is your duty and responsibility and really your action, your control, make sure that that outcome happens. And it's no one else's fault if it doesn't. And I know that might make you feel a certain way listening to this. I even really get caught in the victim mentality sometimes of making excuses. And I don't want you to get this confused with giving yourself grace. Like there's a line between discipline and grace, but the difference is understanding everything is a choice. So if I decide to not go to the gym one morning because I'm really tired and I'm sore and I didn't get a good enough sleep, I am making that choice and I am okay with that because that's what I knew I needed in that moment. It doesn't mean that I'm any less disciplined because I believe I'm a disciplined person. And so it doesn't actually shift the way that I think about myself. So when you're making choices, it's okay. It's a conscious choice to, hey, maybe today I'm just not going to go to the gym. And this is, again, in my control. Why is this so crucial to understand? Because I feel empowered. Life is not happening to me. I am the creator of my life. And so if I decide to not do something, that's on me. That's on nobody else. It's not my cat woke me up in the middle of the night, so I had a bad sleep, so I didn't go to the gym. No. It's not your cat's fault. It's you. It's your choice. And it's not a bad choice or a positive choice. You have to decide that for yourself, but it is your choice. And so when we feel overwhelmed, it's often because we're thinking in the lens of life is happening to us and I'm not in control. So how are you ever going to feel empowered? How are you ever going to feel motivated to change if you think things are fixed and finite and you don't have any chance of changing it? Instead, if we take the alternative route, which is, well, I can find a solution if I really want. I can do this if I really want to, and I will because this is my choice. You are going to feel so much more empowered and more motivated to wake up every day and take control of your life because it's on you and nobody else. We can't be waiting around for other people, and we can't be blaming other people or other things or other events for the way that our life is folding out. So again, I know it might be hard to hear, and I'm giving you a little bit of tough love right now because I've been there and I still go through these ups and downs. But now that I understand so much about my mindset and how it impacts my ability to show up, I can much quicker get out of it because I know that, hey, this is on me. So if we remember everything is a choice, then we can actually go change it. So the next time you feel yourself slipping into this blame game, or I got back from vacation late, so I didn't meal prep. That sentence, really important to hear that. I'm going to say that again. I got back from vacation late, or my flight was delayed, so I couldn't meal prep on Sunday when I normally do. Where are you putting the blame? That little word, I don't know if you caught it, the little word, so. I didn't meal prep because, essentially is what you're saying, my flight was delayed. Is it the flight's fault? Can the airline meal prep for you? I mean, that would be really nice, but no, you're the one that's responsible for cooking. You're the one that's responsible for, this goal that you're working towards and feeling good and confident in your body and energized. So it's you, right? You're the reason why you didn't meal prep because you didn't plan, you didn't feel like it, or you just made the choice not to because you didn't want to that day. And that is just the choice that you made. So it's really all about taking accountability for your actions and not finding excuses. And if you do catch yourself using these excuses, which we all do because we're human, that is going to happen. There's this point that you can let that excuse be the reality and believe that, and let the little voice in your head guide your decisions, or you can choose to be stronger than that voice and think, okay, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my solution oriented hat on. I'm going to put my problem solving hat on. What am I going to do about it? It is not going to be an overnight switch, but it's very crucial. Like, I want you to just think every single day for the next week. I really challenge you, after listening to this, any time that you find yourself making an excuse, making a reason to not do something, or getting into the sense of, I'm feeling overwhelmed, all of this is happening to me, instead of letting that be the reality, deciding, what am I going to do about it? And this is not to discount the feelings of overwhelm or the things, there's a lot going on. I understand that. I know that I don't even know what you're going through right now. And I understand that you probably have a lot of things on your plate. And I'm not discounting how you feel, but remember, feelings aren't always what's real, and we can feel things, but we also can choose to make a choice, not based on how we feel, but also based on what's best for us. So if you are finding that this is really hard, thinking and hearing this and being like, but Steph, but I don't know how, because I'm still feeling this way, 100% continue to feel that way and sit in it for what you need to. And then deciding, is this how I want to feel forever? And the chances are probably not. And so that's where you have to then take accountability and say, okay, if I don't want to feel this way, then something needs to change. And it's probably the way that I'm thinking, the way that I'm talking to myself, and the control or choices that I'm making. So I just want to go back through sort of the things that I spoke about right now, in the sense of you're feeling overwhelmed, where that typically comes from. So number one, if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's probably because you're trying to take on too much at once, and you're focusing on things that, or not focusing, you're choosing things that aren't serving you, that are taking away your energy. And you want to go and look at, what am I doing that's taking away my energy? And what are the things that give me energy? And how do I swing more to the things that give me energy? In order to actually break that down as some action items, you can use the time audit. Go and look at the 168 hours in a week, where you are spending your time right now. Be very, very truthful and honest with yourself. And then go break down, how do I actually want to spend my week? And start building a plan based on that. You can also do the non-negotiable exercise, creating buckets in your life, deciding what you need in each bucket as a baseline to feel your best. Sometimes you're going to be able to do more than that, but at the bare minimum, when I'm feeling really overwhelmed, what do I need in each bucket? And aiming to not overfill each bucket until they're all evenly full at that baseline level. The next thing you need to look at is your mindset and your language, how you're talking about your habits. Are you taking full responsibility and accountability for the things that are happening? Remembering that life is not happening to you and that you can control it, and everything is a choice. So again, this is a little bit of tough love, but it is something that I need to hear time and time again, and I'm sure you need to hear. And just remember to give yourself grace in the journey as well, but also think about what is best for you and how can I make choices in that regard, because everything and everyone is going to have feelings. You're always going to have feelings. There's always going to be things happening. And the choices that you make can really make or break how you actually feel during those times. So thank you so much for watching all the way. And I love you. Thank you for listening. I really hope this was helpful. Please give a comment or let me know if this was helpful for you. If you want to hear more mindset content, would love to hear what your thoughts are and what are some other challenges that you're going through, so we can work through it together. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.